I was thinking about something. You ever notice how easy it is to spend a little extra just to make things easier? And it doesn't really feel like a decision. That's called convenience. It doesn't feel like spending more because it just slides into what you're already doing. But those small choices don't stay small. Think about how this shows up. There's usually an easier option right next to the standard one. It's faster, simpler, and less effort, but it costs more. Not enough to slow you down, so it doesn't feel like emotionally you're choosing to spend more. It just feels like you're choosing what works better, right? Most of the time, you don't even think of it as spending. It just feels like solving a problem. You're tired, so you order instead of going out, or you're busy, so you take the faster option. Nobody can blame you. You don't feel like dealing with something, so you pay to avoid it. And in that moment, though, you're not thinking about the cost. You're thinking about the relief, like a few dollars for delivery, or paying a little extra just to skip a step, or choosing something ready made instead of doing it yourself. None of those feel like big decisions. They don't force you to stop and think. They just happen. And that's the part people miss. This is where it starts to build. These aren't one time choices, they repeat across your entire day, through your routines, everything. Same kind of decision, same small premium, showing up in slightly different ways, and over time, they just start to blend together. And the reason that matters is because it's not just happening once, it's happening over and over with everything: food, shopping, subscriptions, everyday purchases, those little upgrades, those little shortcuts, those little add ons, each one small enough to ignore, but consistent enough to add up. And when something shows up consistently, it stops feeling optional. Individually, none of it will stand out. It's not enough to make it feel like a problem. And it really doesn't need to, because it's not trying to impact one moment, it's showing up across all of them. So instead of feeling like separate charges, it starts to feel like one continuous level of spending. And that, my friend, is the shift. And part of the reason this works so well is because convenience removes friction. And friction is that moment where you might stop and think, what am I doing? It's the extra step, the small convenience, the little bit of effort. And when that friction is gone, so is the pause. You don't hesitate, you don't reconsider, you just move forward. And when decisions happen without friction, they happen more often. And that's what keeps the cycle going. And here's the part that usually gets overlooked: convenience doesn't just add cost, it replaces behavior. Things you used to do yourself, things that used to take more time, things that didn't cost you anything, they start disappearing. You don't notice it happening because the replacement feels so much better. It's faster, easier, smoother. But the trade off is that those free options slowly leave your routine. And after a while, something else happens. Your baseline will shift. What used to feel like extra starts to feel normal. And what used to feel normal starts to feel like you're cutting back. So even if you try to reduce the spending, it feels like you're losing something. Not because you actually are, but because your expectations have changed. And once your baseline moves, everything adjusts around it. You're doing the same things, living the same way, but it costs more to maintain it. That's how your cost of living changes. Not from one big decision, but from a series of small ones. And they don't reverse. And that's how convenience works. It saves time, it saves effort, but quietly it raises the cost of living in a way that feels completely normal.